Well, Anthony, obviously today there's a message from you regarding the Coyotes arena, and we'll just let you deliver the message.
Well, it's more an update, not an announcement per se. And I'll open by saying this is the last time you'll hear me put out dates and deadlines because they tend to hang over me. But we have made significant progress here in the last several weeks, and we are down to the point where we have selected a site. We're not at liberty to disclose the site at this point, but we are moving forward and are actually in the process of trading legal documentation between us and the organizations that we're working with. And we anticipate getting that done here over the next several weeks. But as I said, I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to put a firm date, but we're now moving forward with the site.
And then, considering the process is just starting, do you have a timeline in terms of when you think the team may be able to debut at a new facility, or is that too premature yet?
No, it's actually a very good question because obviously we, as the commissioner said yesterday, we need to figure out the long term before we can figure out our short term. But we're at the point now where we're starting to feel a little more comfortable in regards to timelines. So our expectation is that obviously we have this coming season where we're under contract and have a lease in place to play at Gila River Arena, and we have had, I'd say, more than preliminary discussions with AEG. As a matter of fact, I met with their I guess their leads, Dan Beckerman and I'm just blanking on names right now, but we met with AEG this week at the Board of Governors meeting. Bob Newman, sorry, Bob. We've had preliminary discussions, and I think it's fair to say that we expect that it will be an additional 2 years after this one coming year. And there's no need to actually finalize an agreement at this point since we already have this coming year already baked and put together in regards to playing at Gila River Arena. But I think it's fair to say that it'll be this season plus 2 more, so 1 + 2 = 3. So we're expecting a full 3 years additional at Gila River Arena before we'd be in a position to skate in a new facility.
So that will get done after this season, you think, just trying to hammer out that
Yeah.
agreement, the logistics of it?
Again, there's no real rush because of the fact that we already have this year's lease in place. But as I said, we've had the discussions with AEG about the extension, and the word back is, look, just let us know when you need it, and we'll get it wrapped. So we're not concerned about that at all.
How did you get to this process of identifying one location? I know you can't tell us what it is,
Sure.
but I mean, it sounded like you were surveying a number of options. So why this one? What can you tell us about why this one was most appealing?
I can't get into specifics of the actual location, but it comes down to it's morphed into more of a real estate project than just an arena project, which obviously a number of the sites that we've looked at had that potential. But if you look at new arena projects, and what we have done is we've gone on a bit of a road show. I mean, obviously we were just in Las Vegas, so we got to see the new facility there. When we were up in Edmonton with the team earlier this year, we had the opportunity to tour the facility, but more so see the plans that they have for that. I believe it's 27 acres. Detroit's obviously going through that process, and you see in a lot of these facilities that the stadium or the arena is kind of the focal point, but then there's a large availability of land. That isn't to say that where we're going to end up is going to have that much real estate potential, but it's certainly a part of the process. So and everything comes down to economics. Now this arena will be financed in a what's referred to as a public-private fashion, but more than 50% of the financing will be privately done by the Coyotes. So that's significant, and obviously we're continue and will continue to have conversations with regional stakeholders from a governmental perspective over the coming months. And what we are going to be approaching this with is a concept of not looking for taxpayer dollars. Are we looking for some form of refund of sales taxes generated? Perhaps. Those are the preliminary discussions we had with the state legislature a couple of months ago. But it's a very fluid situation. But what needed to happen was the site selection, which we have done, and that allows us to move forward and really start all of these other ancillary things in a more progressed manner.
I'm not sure if you were able to tell Alex Goligoski more in your conversations
Yes,
with
I
him than
was.
you are. Okay, because obviously John said the arena issue was just brought up. It wasn't a concern to him, maybe because you were able to share more insight with him than us. But you can start talking to free agents tomorrow. I know Dave and John plan to probably utilize that tool. What will your message be, or how will you maybe quiet concerns for potential free agents who are just wondering, if I sign a multi-year deal, where will I be in year 4?
Sure. I mean, obviously, in the situation with Alex, it was a question that came up. It wasn't a very significant one, but that was the point when Dave or John asked me to kind of jump in and provide that. So I met with Alex and gave him a rundown, and obviously he left that with a fair degree of comfort, as he should. And I think that'll be the similar message that Dave and John would be relaying to any potential free agents, that we have it a deal basically done. We have the site selected, and the good news is we do have backup plans if for some reason things didn't work out. But we're pretty committed to the site, and we're looking forward to getting an announcement out there. I mean, an announcement will get out about a site as soon as we finish off the real estate agreement that our lawyers are going back and forth on right now. So again, I'm not setting any timelines, and I certainly won't say I'll be shocked, because I think I'm off to meet with Andy Barraway next, and I think he's going to literally shock me for the comment that I made of being shocked of if we didn't have something done by the draft. I think the summer. Let's go nice and loose. We'll get something announced in the summer.
This summer.
Oh,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just
The
not
site.
till, like, the end of the year?
No, the location. Again, I just did it. I gave myself a timeline. So when's the end of the summer? September 20th, is it? I'm just going to leave it at that.
Anthony, obviously it's an exciting day. There's now a light at the end of the tunnel. Can you maybe just comment on that, as far as, the level of excitement for fans now that this is happening?
Well, it's actually a really good point, Dave, because what happens when you go through these processes is it's difficult to narrow the field down. And what happened for us as recently as a couple of weeks ago, the list kept expanding. It's a good thing because you have communities or you have organizations that realize that having a new arena for the Coyotes is a catalytic approach if you're looking to develop a certain piece of land. But we kept expanding the list and not going the other way. So as I mentioned, Mr. Barraway and Mr. Drummond met with me and said, look, it's time for us to kind of thin the herd, so to speak, and let's make a decision and make sure it's the right one, which we did. We're very, very happy with where we're moving forward. But yes, I think it's a fair point, Dave, that at this point we're now focused on where we envision our long-term future to be in the Valley, and that's a good thing. And today is a great example of why we're all doing this. That we were here at the draft. That's where our focus needs to be. And I certainly understand the fans being concerned. Obviously, everything that happened just over a year ago with Glendale, it brought up the uncertainty again. And there's going to be the naysayers out there that are going to say, "Oh, great! So they're making an announcement about nothing." So it's kind of the Seinfeld press conference that we're having, but it's not. We promised that we would give an update. This is an update. It's not a fulsome one. And yes, I'm disappointed I can't provide a site, but we don't want to be premature about these things. And as I said, trust me, we are moving forward. The lawyers are going back and forth. The one thing that we at the Coyotes do very well is pay lawyers, and we're doing it again, but it's for a very good reason.
Greg, do you have any questions?
You'll be at liberty to announce some of the partners that are in on this project with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we move forward, the most important thing is to get a preliminary, real estate agreement done, which we're working feverishly to get done. And I think at that point, Craig, we'll be at a point where we'll be able to talk about, content within the facility, other partners that may be looking to utilize the facility. Those things I think will come over the summer as we finalize these agreements.